Panther Friday night on Tradio. It's the postseason. The Anna Coyotes and the Colleyville Heritage Panthers here on Tradio. Coming up next for the first round of the playoffs. He's into the end zone for the touchdown. That's 6. Friday night on Tradio, postseason edition. Anna and Colleyville Heritage here at Mustang Panther Stadium. It's going to be a good one tonight. One of the best matchups in all of 5A D2, and we're looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm Will Connerly alongside Shannon Brazil, the TCU Hall of Fame linebacker. In Shannon, Anna, a team that won state last year in 4A, they get moved up and they come into this matchup just like Colleyville on a big win streak. Both teams have been hot, 6 in a row for the Coyotes, 5 in a row for the Panthers, and it's a heavyweight battle for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm super excited for tonight. You got a Coyote team and a Panthers team with so many weapons on both sides of the ball. And you got both offenses that have so much explosive power, one being in the quarterback for the Panthers, Mr. Bodie Weaver, who can run and also put it in the air. And then when you look at the other side of the ball, you have a quarterback who's very explosive, and Mr. Zion Williams. And he's not only can he throw, but he can run. And so it's going to be exciting to see which defense, quote-unquote, pitches a shutout, because it's going to take a defense tonight to stop both these powerful offenses from going in the air, or with the Coyotes doing it with the legs of Mr. Williams.
That will be something to watch. When we look at Anna, they're 7-3, and to start the year 1-3, they've now won 6 consecutive games, and they do it to the tune of a lot of offense, like you just mentioned. Zy Williams, the junior quarterback, he was a huge catalyst for this Coyotes offense last year when they won a state title, the first in program history, with their 15-1 season. And Seth Parr, in just 4 years as the head coach for this group, has done a great job. And when we flip it to the other side for Colleyville, you mentioned Bodie Weaver, you mentioned what he can do with his arm, and even with not having his top weapon for most all of this season, Braden Blewett goes down in week 4, and Colleyville has found a way to recreate what they want to do on offense and score enough points, as it's been more of a running attack for the Panthers with what they've wanted to do with Gerard Wiley and Bryce Abraham in the backfield, and they've played really good defense down the stretch here during this winning streak. So that's the matchup, two teams, and really a tough matchup. When you're Colleyville, you get a 2 seed, but you have to play a reigning state champ in the opening round, a team that averages about 50 points a game. It's going to be a big test for Colleyville's defense, perhaps one of the biggest tests for their defense all season long this evening.
Well, not only they're averaging 50 points a game, they're averaging 33 in the first half. And so with that being said, Colleyville has always started kind of slow for the most part all year and trying to fight their way back. And that can absolutely not happen tonight, because these guys being so explosive, if they get behind 20-plus points, it may be too much to try to come back and win that ball game. So I'm looking for those guys to start quick tonight, to, if anything, go score for score. But they definitely cannot let Mr. Zion Williams get loose and go for 30-plus points in the first half.
That's going to be interesting to see, too, because speaking with Jerry Edwards all year long, he's talked to the Tradio crew and told us that he's not a guy to want to really get into a shootout with teams. He prides himself on defense. He comes from a defensive background. He is the defensive coordinator for this group. And the biggest thing he said this week leading up to this game is they've got a really dynamic quarterback in Williams, who we've talked about, and we will pretty much all night long, the Division I prospect and junior who led this team to a title last year. And you see the Anna faithful and the band across the way. They've had a lot to cheer about with him as the signal caller for this group on the Corey Kessler Home Loans pregame show. But for Colleyville, getting an opportunity to play at home here at Mustang Panther Stadium, that's a huge opportunity, a place where they haven't lost a ball game this season. They've played really well on this turf, and I think that gives them some confidence as well this evening, because it's a very experienced defense for the Panthers, but a very experienced offense on the other side for Anna. But then when you flip it, a lot of new faces on the other sides of the balls.
Yes, I'm with you on that. And the thing about it, playing, I love the old format, but I love this format a little bit better just because you're able to play at home in front of your home crowd. We used to play back at Texas Stadium where both teams would meet there, and we would be on the road for the rest of the duration of the playoffs. So it definitely gives them a quote-unquote hand up, if you will, by playing at home in front of their home crowd for what's familiar to them in football on Friday nights.
Well, Friday night action, postseason time, opening round of the playoffs. The Panthers and the Coyotes getting ready for battle here on the pregame show. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Ready for the holidays? Let our family help. We make it easy for you.
New collections are arriving daily for every room in your home.
Our design staff is ready to help you create the perfect room for your holiday entertaining.
And at Stacy's, our quality name brand selection will not be beat. And right now, you can save even more.
Save $300, $400, $500 or more during Stacy's store-wide holiday home sale. Remember, when you're shopping at Stacy's,
you're shopping with family, and you're not burning money.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey, you, 40-yard line. Big guy, no, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great, bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex Headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
The clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, $14,000 off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, $14,000 off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Panther Friday night on Tradio. Looking forward to this matchup here on the pregame show alongside the TCU Hall of Fame linebacker Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly. Thanks for joining us tonight on Tradio. This a big-time matchup as Colleyville Heritage gets the number 2 seed in 3-5A D2. And in the opening round of the playoffs, they welcome Anna, the Coyotes, to town for this big matchup. An offense that has just been explosive all year long, and under the direction of Seth Parr, a program that is on the rise, winning the state title last year. And it was the first time last season that they got past the first round of the playoffs since 1981. So a team that hasn't had a ton of success until last year, but they carry that 2023 momentum into this season, even after a slow start when they had a tough schedule at the beginning of the year. They've got that offensive firepower with Zy Williams, and then, of course, we'll get to him, Edward Chumley, 23 touchdowns, and their running back really does everything for this Anna squad. And that'll be something key to watch out for when you look at Colleyville and how they want to approach slowing down an offense of this nature. We'll have Jerry Edwards coming up on the pregame show as well and get his thoughts on this matchup. But here on the Corey Kessler Home Loans pregame show, we continue to break this matchup down, Shannon, but this is what it's all about. You throw everything out the window, you get ready for football in the postseason, and for the Panthers to get to do it on their own turf, they've got to be fired up for the challenge.
Yes, sir. This is a one and done. This is what you win, you move on. You lose, you go home. So after tonight, it really doesn't matter about what you did yesterday. It really doesn't. Even though the Coyotes they won it all last year, and that's hard, and that's hard to do in itself. But what's even harder is repeat. And so people are going to be fired up to play them. They're going to get everybody's best. So I expect nothing less than the Panthers to come out here and swing in and hitting on all cylinders to knock these guys off. But again, it's going to make for an interesting night. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I love playoff high school football. At this time of year, going into the holidays, and this is living. This is life for people like myself. So I'm excited to see it.
And for Jerry Edwards in his second season at the helm for Colleyville, 12-2 last year, they get to a regional final. And back at it again, trying to be contenders here in the region, starting with a tough matchup against Anna in the opening round of the playoffs. But for Jerry Edwards, he's 20-4 in 2 seasons at the helm for Colleyville Heritage. And on the other side, Seth Parr, not too shabby as well. 42-7 in 4 years as the head coach for Anna. And that's after they had a 77-129 record in the 20 years prior to him taking over, and now he's gone 42-7, taking this program to greater heights. So the matchup, it's set. A lot of it's going to come down, it looks like, to the Panthers' defense against what Anna wants to do offensively. But for Colleyville, it really comes down to staying on schedule offensively. How can they expose an Anna defense that they haven't had to play as much defense this year because they've got out front on so many teams? But how are they going to try to slow down Colleyville, because they have run the ball with success? It's a three-headed monster in the backfield because it's not just the running backs. Bodie Weaver over the last 5 weeks has started to take matters into his own hands, running the football at a really high level, and that's going to be interesting to see as well.
Well, you're so right. And so what the Panthers cannot do is try to get into a scoring match with these guys. They have to stay true. And as you said, the defense for the Coyotes has not been out and played a bunch of snaps. And so the Panthers have to keep just staying the course, stay the course, run the ball, try to, use their double threat with Bodie. And I think they'll be successful at that because there's a certain part of the year where all that experience counts. And so they will test the shape of this Coyote defense to see if they can play a full fourth quarters at a high level, because one thing I know about this Panthers defense and this Panthers team, they can go. And sometimes they have a problem with, again, like we mentioned before, starting fast. But, man, at the end of the game, by the end of the fourth quarter, these guys are rumbling.
Absolutely, and Colleyville has been a second-half team. Something Jerry Edwards continues to say is our Panther fight never dies, and we've got a lot of confidence in this group over the last stretch of action during this winning streak for Colleyville. You'll get the points allowed in the second half in particular pretty much been nothing. They've been really good in the second half defensively, and it's going to take a really big defensive effort against the Coyotes because it's an offense that doesn't look like it's slowing down much. And again, a team that coming off a state title last year, yes, but that's old news. But the thing that's not old is a lot of the guys on this roster were key contributors to that state title team last year, and they've replicated that and even increased some of their outputs. Zy Williams, the quarterback, when he's getting over 320 yards of total offense a game, it's somebody to really look out for and to see how he can operate, and especially considering the fact that they start the year 1-3, but after that, they just start putting points and points and points on the board. I mean, their first 2 wins of the season, 55 points, 70 points, 44 points, 55 again, and they scored 76 a couple of weeks ago. So they can score, and they can score in bunches, and that is what's going to be interesting to see how Jerry Edwards and what his plan has been formulated to try to slow down an offense that isn't just a one-trick pony, because they can throw the ball all around the yard, and they've certainly presented a big running attack as well. And it kind of makes you wonder about that matchup defensively, particularly on the defensive line. What's the pressure going to look like from some of these guys like Evan Nieta, who is one of the biggest forces up front, takes a couple guys to block big number 99, and thinking how often he can get to the backfield, leading the team in sacks, is going to be big with Demarius Logan, Nehemiah Ole.
Capable of, playing man enough or a good zone defense until it's time to attack the football. So they have a task. Listen, it's going to be a heavy task for them, but do I think they can get it done? Yes, sir, especially at home.
Looking forward to it. We'll hear from head coach Jerry Edwards coming up in just a moment on the pregame show. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Welcome in. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio alongside the TCU Hall of Fame linebacker Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly, and the Colleyville Heritage Panthers getting the number 2 seed in 3-5 AD2, getting a home playoff game to start things out. They're 8-2. They've won 5 in a row. Anna, though, the Coyotes, they're 7-3. They've won 6 in a row. After starting the year 1-3, they have roared into the postseason, a place where they had a lot of success last year, winning the state championship for the first time in program history with their 15-1 historic season. And when we look at the numbers in this matchup, Shannon, Anna, what jumps out at the page? The bottom left, nearly 50 points a game. They've got an offense, and a very strong one at that.
Man, look at those stats. That's serious business right there on the offensive side of the ball. Almost 50 points scoring. I mean, that's a game. That's crazy to the Panthers, 26, 27 points there. So that just lets me know these guys are very explosive. And the defense of the Panthers have their hands full. They're going to have to scheme up some things. They're going to have to not only stop a quarterback, but they have some weapons at the running back position with Mr. Chumley. They have Mr. Taylor at wide receiver and Mr. Ashley at wide receiver. They have some weapons all over the field. And so we know that the Colleyville Panthers are capable of putting the clamps on teams, but they've never played a team like this with these type of stats.
They have not. It will be the toughest test for Colleyville, a tough test to play a defending state champ in the opening round of the playoffs at home, but that's what's on the docket for them tonight. Anna winning it all last year, but moving up to 5A this year. They won it all in 4A a season ago. Seth Parr, their head coach in his 4th season. They went 3-7 the year before he was hired. He's led them to 42-7 over 4 seasons, while Jerry Edwards, 12 final, and they post 8-2 mark this year, 20-4 in his career with the Panthers. He's put together a lot of success, and it's really been a big part of what he's liked to do, a defensive-minded guy, and he has a lot of work cut out for him tonight with how potent this Coyote offense has been. Over 2,400 yards in the air and on the ground, so it's a balanced attack, and kind of has to be when you nearly get 500 yards a game.
Yeah, so for both teams, I mean, besides the crazy numbers of the Coyotes, those numbers are crazy. But besides that, this is a pretty defensive side. The Coyotes returning basically 10 people and having one comeback that was there to experience what it feels and how it is to win at a high level. That means a lot. From a football standpoint, also from a locker room standpoint. So, and then you have a great team that's been brewing over the last couple of years with the Panthers. So, listen, this thing's going to all come to a head tonight. Somebody's got to go home and somebody's got to move on. And we're going to see who that's going to be tonight based off who plays the best football.
We are. It's going to be a great battle here in the opening round of the playoffs. One of the best matchups here that 5A has to offer. Two teams that believe they are contenders. Somebody, though, is going to go home tonight, and we will find out who that's going to be and have the game unfold before our eyes in under 10 minutes. But coming up next, we'll hear from head football coach Jerry Edwards here on the pregame show. You're watching Panther Friday Night here on Tradio.
Have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at Maintenance. J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Welcome into Panther Friday Night on Tradio, joined alongside head football coach Jerry Edwards. Coach, you get to this point of the season, now into the postseason, a big-time matchup here this evening against Anna. Tell me about the week of practice leading up to tonight's game.
Yeah, it's been a good week of practice. I think our kids have been really focused and ready to go. They know the challenge ahead. We're in the 3rd phase of the season, the playoffs, and there's typically no bad teams that make it to the playoffs. And especially when you're going against District 3 5A, 4 really solid football teams coming out of that district, 4 solid teams coming out of our district. So all of those matchups will be really good. I think our matchup is probably one of the best in the state of Texas. I think 2 really good football teams squaring off in the first round, so it'll be a lot of fun.
It should be a lot of fun, and when you look at your opponent, a team that obviously coming off what they did in the postseason a year ago, that's pretty. Look at them specifically. What are some things they do well, and what do you know about their program overall here this season?
Well, like you mentioned, they were the 4A 4A Division I state champions last year, and they got some of those key guys coming back this year. They play in a really tough district. There's 5 quality football teams, and, they came in as the number 3 seed. We are glad that we get them at home. But, offensively, I think is what really makes them click. If you look, they put up a lot of points. They have a really dynamic quarterback who can run and throw. Their receivers do a good job of sitting down in space. And they have a running back that runs extremely hard. So I think the strength of their team is their offense. They're going to be able to move the ball, and so we got to find a way to slow them down, and our offense has got to move the ball and keep them off the field. And I think there's some things that we can do offensively to take advantage of what they do defensively. Like I said, I think it's a really good matchup.
Yes, it should be a lot of fun and obviously a test, but you get to do that at home as well. And your team riding into the postseason with quite a bit of momentum as well, winning 5 straight. I'm sure the locker room has to feel pretty good about where this group is at right now, particularly with your defense and how well you've played during this 5-game win streak.
Yeah, I think our team has been gradually getting better and better every week, which is what you want. You want to be playing your best football at the end of the season. And I think, once we got through those first 5 games of the season, which we knew were going to be extremely tough, we kind of found our identity and who we are and what we needed to do to be successful. And during our bye week, we kind of put all that into play and came out the second half of district and played well. We haven't gotten off to fast starts like we wanted to, but we've slowly been addressing that, and I think we did a good job of doing that the other night, scoring on our opening drive. And then, playing good defense along the way and offense doing what they need to do to put points on the board. And so I feel like we've come together as a team and we're hitting our stride right at the right time.
But like you said, with the focus on this evening's affair, going up against a state champion in the opening round, and for an Anna team, they lose their first couple district games, but then get to the 3rd seed. And for your group, trying to replicate another long postseason run like you had getting to the regional finals last year. At this time of the year, I know it's a privilege to continue to get to play and practice, but what do you think the biggest keys for the Panthers are tonight in terms of continuing your season on?
We got to contain the quarterback. I mean, it all goes around him. We got to get him in 3rd and long situations, find a way to get to the quarterback, keep him in the pocket, don't let him beat us with his feet. That's kind of the big key on defense. And then offensively, we got to control the ball. We got to be able to run right at them, go down the field, march down the field, eat up some of that clock, and keep their offense off the field. And then score on every possession that we get. We need to maximize the amount of points we get because we know they can be explosives on offense. And so, we need to play complementary football. Good defense, find a way to get off the field, and their offense needs to go down and put points on the board.
Do you change your messaging to your team when it gets to this time of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Watson talked to our team on Tuesday. Usually we have an assistant coach that speaks to our team every Tuesday, and Coach Watson brought up a good point. For our seniors that are on our football team, we're guaranteed one more game, and that's it. And so I think every week we put that out there to them that we're trying to earn one more week together, and that the win and move on and lose and go home. And so we got to play for those seniors so we can get another week together and just make sure that we execute to a high level, because there's no do-overs, there's no take-backs, there's no next week if you don't get the job done. And so I think our kids are ready and prepared. I think they have full confidence in playing at MP. We've played extremely well at home the last 2 years. And then, we're a second-half team. And, so I think our kids have a lot of faith in what we're doing, and they want to earn another week, and I think they're ready for the challenge.
And that has been a huge storyline this year. Playing well at home, yes, under your direction over the last 2 years, and then particularly this season, the second halves. It's been a story every week. But again, I think in a situation like this where you might go down. You have gone down in a lot of games, but to be able to fight back and to have that resolve as a group and do it in front of the faithful at MP, which should be very packed here tonight, it definitely seems like it can give your group a sense of assurance that this Panther fight isn't going to die.
Yeah, absolutely. Our kids are going to fight from the opening kickoff to the final whistle of the game. There's no question about that. That's just part of our DNA, who we are. We're going to be physical. We're going to execute to a high level and be a disciplined football team. And when you have all those things, you have a good, well-rounded team. And I think, really true, I've told the kids and I've told the coaches, I think, the winner of this game, in my opinion, will be the favorite to win the region. I know there's some other good quality football teams in the region, but I really do, watching them on tape and knowing how we are, I think, whoever wins this game comes out on top. I think you would have to put them towards the top of being able to go out and win this region.
Absolutely. Should be a big crowd tonight. And like you talk about this matchup, a matchup that many are saying is one of the best, and like you already said as well, in this opening round. It should be a lot of fun. You talk about stopping the quarterback, who's been very dynamic this year, and looking forward to seeing how the defense can rise to that challenge this evening. Coach, as always, appreciate your time, and best of luck this evening.
I appreciate it.